Today I'm just going to head up into Moondyne, which is part of Wallunga National Park, I believe. Just turning up Chittering Road now in the town of Bullsbrook. So just head out from Perth to Bullsbrook, turn right up Chittering Road, and down the road here we'll turn right again and then head up the ridge line into the park. Now there's actually quite a lot of history in that area of the park. Moondyne Joe had his little hideout and camp in there, and they also had a wood mill called Plunkett Mill, and I've always wanted to get a drone up over Plunkett Mill and try and find things in there, but now that I've got a drone I will launch that up there as long as it's not raining and have a bit more of a look around. There's also a natural spring that Moondyne Joe sort of dug out a little bit and built so he could get water there. A little waterfall, and the actual parkland, Moondyne, was part of the army training area. The army training area used to go from the south side of the river in Wallunga National Park all the way through to the top of Bindoon, to what is now Bindoon training area. And then over the years they sort of gave up bits of it. First they let loose the Wallunga area, and that was turned into a national park. Now they've, back in the 70s or 80s, they let go of the Julimar area, and that's just state forest now at the moment, and they've kept on the top part, which is up in Bindoon training area. I remember years ago when I was a lovely foot soldier getting dropped off on Julimar Road and spending weeks walking up through the bush there, doing all my patrol work and all that sort of stuff. And in fact, the Korean War, I believe, they did training there before they went across to Korea. Anyway, we'll show you Plunkett Mill, we'll show you a couple of Moondyne's things. We'll show you the main camp, which you can camp at in the national park on the north side of the river, and I'll show you the way into Sapper's camp, which is the old crossing camp, but I won't go down into that. The gate's probably going to be locked anyhow, being at the end of winter, and I've heard the track down in there is pretty rough, and not really worth going down there with one car because you might not get back out. The whole area, as I said, was a bombing area, army range. You might, if you're lucky, find some unexploded ordnance in there. If you do, just sort of mark the area. Don't touch the device. Mark the area, get out the way, and call the police or call the RAF range down here, and they'll send someone out there to have a look at it and blow it up if it's unexploded. Just coming up to the right hand turn here, just on this bend. It is a 80k zone. We're just plodding along at 50 at the moment. But, obviously Sunday drives, and they probably don't know where they're going. The street's called Wilson Street. Something for sale down here too. It goes through to the Moondyne Country Convention Centre. This track, or this road, will take you there. If you turn left just down here a little bit. And once you cross this little creek on the left, you sort of weave your way up through the hill and then into the forest. Dead bunny. Depending on the level of comfort you want, if you stop at the bottom here, it's a gravel road on the way in. If you stop at the bottom here and deflate a little bit of air out of your tyres, you'll make it a nice smoother ride for you. Otherwise you're going to be bouncing around on those gravel tracks in there on hard tyres. There's a fair bit of water going down that creek there. It is the end of winter, beginning of spring. There's also, although I'm just driving around it today, you can walk around here. There's a few walks. You've got the Avon Valley Heritage Trail, there's a walk trail from Midland all the way up to New Norcia, the Pilgrimage Trail I think they call it. It goes through here and then up through Julimar as well. Turn off's just up here. And there's a couple of loop walks and that in this park. They start from a property down this river, or up this river really. So yeah, if you want to soften the ride, you just stop here and deflate your tyres a little bit. It's for gravel driving, not for off-road driving. The tracks up there are all old gravel tracks without any problems. Anyway, we'll stop at the top. I should have measured that, shouldn't I? To this point here it's about 11 k's, 11.4 k's. So yeah, up Chittering Road, turn right at Wilson Street and come out to this little point here, deflate your tyres, and then we'll head up the hill. Quite a good view through the valley as you come up this hill. I'll be coming back down this road as well. I won't go out the other way. There is two other exits out of this park. One of them on Plunkett Road. That will take you out to Julimar Road, and then you can turn left at Julimar Road back to Chittering Valley. And the other one heads out from the park and heads sort of down to Chittering Valley Road. They've actually done a bit of upgrades on here. Last time I was here this was all gravel. Now they've done a little bit of road maintenance on it, which is good. But then it's also not good because then everyone comes up here instead of just a few people. Wildflowers should be out at the time in the park. There are some excellent views down the valley from this road, and you can stop. There are a few spots along the road here that you can stop, get out and take photos. Just up here, we could go straight ahead and then turn left, but we're going to go first left in the park. Follow this track around to Plunkett Mill. There's an old well at Plunkett Mill that I'll show you as well. Part of the Avon Valley National Park. I thought it was part of Wailyunga, but anyway. Okay. This turn off, I actually started the GPS from the hotel in town. This is 13.8 kilometres along the track. As you can see, gravel roads off the main road. If you've taken a bit of air out of your tyres, it's a little bit more comfortable for you. There is a track just down here on the left coming up. And that will take you down to the back of the fence lines of the properties that join this park. And you can drive down there, drive behind the properties along the fire break. It will take you back out onto Plunkett Road. And then you can drive back into the park. Should have told you at the start, this has a fair bit of cap rock on this little road that we're taking in. If you take the second left, major road, it'll come up to the same spot, but doesn't have as much cap rock. You also see there's some bike tracks, push bikes have been along here, so it's quite a flat area actually. Once you're up on top of that ridge line, this is a long flat piece of forest up through the Jarrah forest. I have ridden a mountain bike around here when I lived in Hillsbrook, and I used to come up here and walk the dog in here, even though it's a national park. Alright, this is what I sort of call a roundabout, because there's a tree in the middle of a track and everyone goes around it. There is a little track just off here to the right, and that actually, if you walk down that track, you'll go into where the old mill site was, in the middle of the bush, nothing around at all. If I can find a clear patch of sky, I'll launch the drone here and have a look around. I'll also show you the well that's here. I think it's called Plunkett Well, I presume it would be. Anyway, we'll get out and have a look. Oh, this is at 17.2 kilometres in. There you go, this is a little walk trail that goes down into the mill area. The only things I've found are pretty much straight ahead. Down over that way, about 100 metres, are some old like diggings. I'm not sure what they're from, whether they roll the logs over the top and use the crosscut saws and had someone sitting in the hole and someone sitting on top cutting the logs, or what it's from, but I know that this is the mill site. I want to fly the drone, which I will today, and have a look around, see if I can find anything else in the bush, because you're walking through stuff like that, it's very hard to find out where things were. And in fact, one of the things that's quite hard to find is the well. If you keep walking down this track, you can walk straight past it. Probably all shaky in it on the video. In fact, can you see the well? You might be able to see a little bit of a fence line just in there. We'll go and have a look. Unless you know there's a well here, you wouldn't see it. There you go, an old wood-lined well. Hopefully I don't drop the phone. Anyway, that wood looks reasonably new. There's old wood there, so it looks like they've actually relined a bit of it. So yeah, right in the middle of the bush, very close to where the mill is. The mill site is sort of down in this area. In fact, if you go through those trees there, that way, you'll come across the diggings. There's a well here, and if you don't know it's here, you'll walk straight past it on that track, you won't even see it. Anyway, I'll go and launch the drone and see what I can find. Well, that was Plunkett Mill. I'll head up here a little bit. We'll turn right, go down into the camping area, picnic area and camping area, I guess you call it. Have a look around there, and then head up to a rock cairn, which is one of the survey markers when they did the original survey through the valley and put the town of Newcastle on the map. Before Newcastle got washed away in a flood, and then they rebuilt the town and called it 2J. Yes, it's nice corrugated through here. If you want to save your spine, yeah, you can let some air out of your tyres and drive along here a bit softer. There are also a few little puddles up here that most are not too deep, some are quite deep. And the road, it's a track, it's not a road, so you can't expect it to be perfect. I do notice there's not a lot of wildflowers out in here at the moment. They're just sort of starting to come out. After the camp, the rock can, we'll call in at Moondyne Joe's cage, where he had a little corral where he kept his animals, the ones that he stole. Very interesting, a lot of history on Moondyne. That's actually a really interesting story. He's sort of like a bush ranger, but he wasn't. He wasn't riding around on horses, holding people up at gunpoint, taking all their money or anything like that. He was basically just sort of travelling worker, salesman type thing. Didn't sell anything, but yeah, he'd go place to place working. And when he was short on food and that, he used to sneak into the properties down around the area and take a little bit of food to keep him going. Got arrested quite a few times, put in prison a few times, escaped a few times. It's really interesting. If you want a good read, have a look up the books from Moondyne Joe. In fact, one of his captures, he was in, I think it was Sandalford Winery. Snuck in there, was tasting the local wines, and he heard someone coming to the front gate of the cellar, and he thought the only way he was going to get out of this was to fly out of the doors when they opened the doors and run off. Unfortunately, when the doors opened, he ran out there and ran straight into the Commissioner of Police and a couple of his policemen who had come up to sample the wines and buy some wine. So he got busted for that one and got stuck in jail again. He even escaped Fremantle prison. They gave him hard labour for something, I can't remember what it was. Sat him in a corner of the yard with a chisel, and his job was to basically break rocks. So whilst he was breaking rocks, he was also chiselling a hole through the wall of the prison. And the prison officers never bothered to go down the corner to have a look, so eventually he got through and walked out. He did rustle cattle in this area too, and he used to herd them up into his little stockade up here, and then he'd light his fire, go snooze for the night, and whilst he was asleep, most of the cattle and horses would escape and walk back to where they came from. I'm pretty sure he never actually held anyone up or anything like that. He wasn't like Ben Hall or some of the other real bush rangers over in the eastern states. It's coming up to the turn off now. Well, you can continue straight on and you'll come across the little area for Moondyne's cage and the springs, but we'll turn right here and go down to the campground. There used to be a sign there as well saying don't touch unexploded ordnance, and if you see anything, there was a phone number to ring, but that sign's gone. I don't think all the ordnance is gone from out of here though. Anyway, down to the campsite. I might do a couple of orbits with the drone. There is a nice little waterfall down here, and from the campsite it's a little bit of a walk down to the river, but it's quite a nice view and spot to splash around in down on the river. It is a bit of a walk down a hill, so obviously it's a bit of a walk up a hill when you want to come home. And yeah, as you can see, this track is a little bit bumpy. There are a couple of side tracks here as well. You're not supposed to drive down them. Coming up, it's sort of like an old power line. I think it used to come down through here. It's a good walk track. You can do a couple of good loop walks in here if you're keen, or mountain bikes. Not sure if you're allowed to have horses in here or not, but anyway. probably saw there's marker posts telling you where to go. And that used to be all closed off, as you could see. Same on the other side. People have just pushed a track around the gate, which is a little bit silly, but yes, people will do stupid things. This track certainly has changed a lot since I last came down here. It's a lot rougher than it used to be. There you go, straddling the hole to get up the side. Makes it a lot easier. Otherwise you're dropping a tyre in that wheel rut and you're bouncing around and dragging the bottom of the car around everywhere. Yeah, this track's a lot rougher than it used to be. There's even a little bit of water still running down these little creek lines too. There is a waterfall down here too. From the camp you sort of walk down the valley and you'll see a little track off to the right, little foot track that'll take you into the top of the falls, and then you cross over the top of the falls and walk around and come in underneath. And now there is also a story that someone buried a large sum of money at the bottom of one of these falls, but I'm filming this on an iPhone 6, so that sort of gives you an indication that I've never found the money. I don't know where it is, but it's only a story. I can't remember who it was supposed to be that hid money up here, but I don't think there is any, but you never know, someone might find some. When you get to little puddles like this, all rev heads sort of people love to go through the deep part. You can see you could straddle this, so I'm going to straddle through here and miss the puddles basically. Sometimes you've got puddles like that. I don't know how deep they are, that was a little bit deep. Just take it easy. There is this little track off to the right here. We used to have a gate across it. I'll show you up the track. This track, yeah, it's pretty rough, bumpy. You can do it easily. It goes up the hill there ahead of us. That'll come out at the fence line at Moondyne Country Convention Centre. If you turn turn right at the fence line, it will work its way around to the entrance to the Moondyne, and then you're on the main road again. If you keep going, you end up going into some very steep country, and at this time of year, as you can see, just crawling out of that, it's a little bit slippery. The camp's just up here on the left. Nice big washaway there. Nice view down the valley as well, and I'll get the drone out here. I did hear the weather forecast say it was going to be showers and that, which is a bit annoying. I might actually stop and launch the drone from here. If you go straight ahead, there's a gate just around the corner, and from there you walk down. It's a steep walk down the hill and you're on the Avon River, and left here you're up into the campsite. There's a toilet here as well. But I'm just going to park here and launch the drone and zip up and down this valley and show you around from the air. Just here at the entrance to the camp, 21.9 kilometres from the Moondyne Hotel, Red Roof Hotel I think call it. Anyway, we'll go up here. There is a track from the back of the camp area here. That goes up the hill and up to the rock cairn that I want to get to. And this is certainly washed away. There's a couple of little picnic areas, picnic tables and that here. I wouldn't say it's a perfect camping spot. There's no flat ground anywhere. But there is also a little toilet just up there on the left. It actually looks like they've made this site bigger. This track wasn't here last time I came up. Yeah, they've made the little camping area, or picnic camping area, a bit bigger. Another table up here. Still no real flat ground to put a tent up, but it's alright. Anyway, we'll head up the track, and there's a pretty steep hill I'll show you.